Alright guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm going to show you guys how I made this pink mermaid gown with godets dress. So I used Karen M Customs. I used the same pattern that I used in my last video, but I did use a size large. I cut that out and then I put this on another paper, but this paper is on fold because I wanted a full pattern for the front. And then you see after I cut it out, I open it and then I have a full dress piece. And then I'm going to trace how I want my design. So I'm copying from my iPad just to, just figure out how I like it. Then I go over it with a Sharpie. Okay, and then now I'm cutting it out. So I didn't cut it out yet. I didn't cut out those lines that I made yet because I wanted to cut it on fold so the sides could be identical. So I cut it where it was exactly the same first. And then, pinned it to my fabric on fold. This is me cutting that out. And then right at that point where it stops, that's where I'm going to start my flare. So my table isn't that long, so I had to, pin it together, scoot it up, You gotta do what you gotta do. Then I'm gonna take my measuring tape and I'm gonna flare out 40 inches. Then I'm gonna cut. And on the side, you can see where my godet starts to form, which is just 2 triangle pieces that just adds more fullness to the dress. And I'm just going to cut straight across from there, and you see that triangle. And then I'm going to curve down for my flare. And I pinned it all together because I did want to use this piece again. So now I'm doing my back piece, and you see I'm leaving a gap between the paper and the fabric. I left a 1/2 inch gap, and this was for my zipper. I wanted to leave space for my zipper because this fabric, it's not that stretchy. So I'm leaving that gap. And then I'm going to take the pattern that I just cut out, the fabric that I just cut out, that front dress piece, and I'm going to put it right on top of this and the paper. Because I wanted my flare to be exactly the same, and you can kind of see, where I pinned on the sides. And then I just keep cutting. And again, where that godet starts to form, on the side, I'm going to use that. And you can't see, but you can kind of see, but I cut straight across again for my godets for the other side. And then I cut the split up the dress, up the back for my zipper. And then I'm doing cutting out my mesh piece with my rotary cutter. And this is that piece. And then I'm cutting my lining, and I cut my lining the exact same as everything else. When I say the exact same, I mean the exact same. And then to line my dress, I just pinned all the way around. When I say all the way around, I mean all the way around. The top, the side, the neckline, the bottom. And then I'm going to take it to my serger and serge all around those edges where I pinned. And this is how I line my dresses. You can do it your way, but this is how I did it. And then as you can see, my serger is trimming off that excess edge that didn't line up. And this is how that turned out. And then I'm going to hem my neckline and my armhole. So the neckline, it's not pinned right now, but I did hem that as well. And this is my godet, and I lined it just like I lined the dress. I pinned all the way around, and then I serged it. And I did this to all 4 pieces. And on that straight edge that I just put it to, that's where you're gonna sew your godets together. So I'm gonna line them up at that straight edge, and I'm gonna pin from the bottom to the top. And then I'm going to sew a straight stitch right at that edge right there. I actually serged it first, but you can still kind of see the threads, so I just went over it with the straight stitch. And then this is the front, and I'm going to line this the exact way as I did everything else. And then I'm cutting out those cutouts. And then I'm going to take this paper and I'm going to put it right on top, just like that. And I'm just going to cut it out. And then after I do that, I'm going to serge those edges. I'm going to serge all the way around. Okay, and then I'm going to take what I just did and I'm going to put it directly on top of the mesh because those pieces should be the exact same. And I'm going to line up that armhole seam, the waist, the hip. I'm going to line all of that up, and then I'm going to pin all the way around. That's what you see me. I'm smoothing it out, making sure everything is nice and flat. That little corner piece I had issues with. You see it lifting. I ended up cutting it. And I pinned all it around, and then I'm going to take that to my sewing machine, and I did a zigzag stitch. As you see, I have a length of 4. This was because I did a basting stitch first because I just wanted to make sure, you know, it was flat and everything before I went over it again with a tighter stitch. And this is how that turned out. Okay, then I'm going to do my godets. So this is my godets lined and everything. And I'm just going to pin it to the dress. So from where I started that flare to the bottom of that flare. And I just pin it at the sides. And I did that on both sides, and I did a straight stitch. And this is where I sewed that straight stitch. And this is the dress, the top, the front of the dress. And I'm just going to lay those right sides to right sides. I pinned the side seams. And I pinned it down. And then I'm going to put those godets, attach the godets to the front of the dress here as well. And you see me grabbing those pieces. And on the godets, I did a straight stitch, but once I got to, you know, the bust, waist, hip, that area, I did a zigzag stitch. And here you can see me going from a straight stitch to a zigzag stitch, as I mentioned. And then I'm going to do the shoulder seam. You see I'm going to match those seams up. And I pin it together. And then there I also did a zigzag stitch. And then I top stitched it with a straight stitch. And this was the base of the dress. And this is how that turned out. And then I'm just going to start taking my little applique pieces and just adding them. I used about 4 or 5 pieces. Maybe like 4.5 pieces. Originally I was going to hand sew them down, but this fabric wasn't having that. So I did glue them down with Gorilla Glue, and this is how it turned out. This dress is for sale on my website. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. Thanks for watching, and check out my last video.